Alright fam, so we're gonna go ahead and start our Thanksgiving prep today. We're gonna go ahead and get this freezer and this refrigerator cleaned out. Y'all know when it comes to Thanksgiving prep, it doesn't just start with the food that you prepping, but it start right here, because you gotta start making some space for your big turkey, your big ham. We got a bag of greens down there. We got the ham on the second shelf. So you gotta make sure you got enough space. Now, if your parents are like our parents, you know, they'll have you come over the weeks before and be like, look, I got all this food in the refrigerator, come over here and get it so you can make space in the freezer. So what do you guys do ahead of time to make sure you got enough space in the refrigerator? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take these greens out. These are the Cornish hens, so we're gonna take these out tomorrow. Today is Sunday, so tomorrow, which is Monday, we're probably gonna go ahead and take these out. So in addition to us prepping these greens today, we're gonna go ahead and get these sweet potatoes peeled. You can do this the day before, the night before. I'm gonna do it a little earlier this week because I have so much stuff to do, and then that way I'll just cut them up, put them in a bag, and then put them in the refrigerator. Now, the easiest way I like to do when I'm dealing with these stems is to go ahead and just put the trash can right next to you. So that way you don't have to have a big old pile on the sink of stems or have a bag. But which way do y'all do it? Do you have a bag that you just sit right here, or do you have your trash can sitting right next to you? I got all the greens washed, clean, drained. Now we're going to go ahead and transfer these to our pot. So now you're going to go ahead and bring up a pot of hot water, and we're going to bring this to a boil. As soon as your pot starts to boil, you can go ahead and start adding your greens in. So we got them all in there, and you're not going to do anything else but just push them down in the water. Make sure they all nice and submerged. You're not going to season them. You're not going to do nothing. The only thing we're going to do is just parboil them. Put the top on it. Let it cook for about 10 minutes. And then that's it. So the next thing we can go ahead and knock out is our cornbread for our cornbread dressing. You can go ahead and make this ahead of time. Set it to the side. Put it in the refrigerator. Put it in the freezer. The day of Thanksgiving, you already had this part done. So let's go ahead and whip this up. So after 10 minutes of cooking these greens, they're going to look just like this. Again, they're not done by no means. You see that? They are not done. But we're going to get them soft enough so we can go ahead and store them away. Now we're going to let this cool down. And as it cool down, it's still going to continue to cook those greens. So 10 minutes is all you need. Once they cool down, we're going to show you the next step. So we're only going to use one box of this cornbread mix because the kids don't really like stuffing. But, you know, you still got to have it on the table because I like it and Daddy like it. Okay. 1 egg. A little bit of milk. Alright. Going to add a little bit of sugar because cornbread still need a little bit more sweetening. Let's get that a little stir. See, this only took like 5 minutes, and then it's going to take about another 10 minutes to cook. You got that little bit of time to do this during the week, don't you? So I got this dish already greased up. Just go ahead and take your batter. Make sure you get all of it out. And this is going to be enough cornbread. You know, if you're just making a nice little size pan for your house, 1 box is all you need. You probably gonna need more than 1 box if you actually feeding, you know, more than like 10, 20 people or so like that. But this is good. All right, so just follow the box directions. Just cook this for about 10, 13 minutes or so, and it's gonna be done. So take a look at the greens really quick. A lot of that steam has come off of them, so they didn't stay here for like an hour and a half. They are almost ready to be taken off this liquid and then bagged up. We got the cornbread right here that we just took out the oven. So now we're going to go ahead and shred it up. Now it's soft now, but once you put it into the refrigerator, it's going to get hardened up, which is perfect for your dressing. Let's see if I can fit it in here. Nope, I can't. So I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to do this without making a mess. So here is some parchment paper. Just gonna go ahead and put the cornbread right on this. And without making a lot of dishes. That cornbread is so good. If you can eat it now. Like, I don't even want to have to wait till Thanksgiving. So buttery. Okay, so now you're just going to grab up your parchment paper and get your bag. Slide it in. And this parchment paper is still good, so you can use this for something else. Don't throw it away. So look at that. So now I have the cornbread, and then I have the stuffing mix right here. I'll just use all of this and then take some out of here to add to it. This one you can just sit in your pantry. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator because it's just regular bread. But your cornbread, you're going to have to put it in the refrigerator because you have those eggs in there, and that liquid is too moist to just, you know, sit out. So once you get this done, just put it in your refrigerator. All right. They've been cooling for about 2 hours, and now is the time that you want to go ahead and package them up. So all we're going to do is just take a plastic bag like this, and you want to get you a spoon with the holes in it, so that way you don't get too much juice left over. Because essentially, all you want to do Thanksgiving Day or the day before when you decide to cook these greens is to take it out this bag. Hold on. And then you're just going to put it into the broth that you made. You know, with your smoked turkey or whatever meat that you're going to be cooking these greens in. The cleaning, the de-stemming, that whole process is done. And that's what most of the time come from as well. Aside from cooking the greens is the prepping part. And then as I'm putting them in there, I'm just pressing it down some so that way I can make some space. It would be easier if you can sit this bag in a bowl or something and prop the bag open so that way you won't get the juice everywhere. But I'm going to wipe this bag off before I put it in the refrigerator, so it's okay. So this is good enough. And again, just going to push those greens down. And it's still enough liquid in here to keep them moisturized. Y'all see that? All of that juice right there. So they're not completely dry. Just going to take all this air out of it. If you cooking this for Thanksgiving, for the week of, you just going to go ahead and sit this in your refrigerator. If not, you can just go ahead and put this in your freezer, and when it's time for you to use them, you don't have to just have it for holidays. Just whenever you want some greens, you just want to take it out and cook it up.
Happy holidays, everyone, and we're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to show you how to prep your cheese for your holiday mac and cheese. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 cheese macaroni. We've got goat cheddar, which I've never seen before, but I want to try it. We've got Gruyere, good old cheese, never fails. We've got some mozzarella. I'm not going to shred this. This is too soft. We can cut this by hand. And we've got some good old classic sharp cheddar. So let's get straight into it. We've got our food processor right here. Bam! And we've got our cheeses. Let's go.
Alright, y'all. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and prep on the menu is the sweet potatoes. Alright, so they already still in the raw form. We're not going to boil these today. We're just going to peel them and prep them right in this pan. And then tomorrow for Thanksgiving, all we got to do is just pop them in the oven, okay? So we like to do them both. You know, sometimes we boil them. Sometimes we don't boil them. It really just depends on the mood you in, you know, really. And pretty much how much time you got. So if you want a time crunch, then you can boil these pre-hand and then slice them up and put them in your oven. But sometimes I find like they come out more caramelized when I don't boil them. So I'm not going to boil these today. And we want these things nice and candied. Try to get a lot of those blemish pieces off. Alright, so this is one peeled and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. Okay, so I'm just going to set them right in there until we get all of them peeled. And then as soon as we get them peeled, we're going to move on to the next step. Slice them into like little mid-sized medallion shape. So the thicker you slice them, the longer they're going to take to cook. Okay, so this the size you want them right here, and we're gonna do that to all of them. We're gonna go ahead and just start seasoning them. Some cinnamon, and we like a good amount of cinnamon. A little bit of nutmeg. Okay. Not measuring anything, y'all. Just sprinkling some here, sprinkling some there. Pretty much, you know, once everything is nice and coated, that's how you know it's good. And we always put white and brown sugar. So we're going to have to get some more butter. That's the only thing that we missing right now. I got some, but it's not enough. Okay. And then to that, just going to add a couple shots of salt just to balance those flavors out. Some lemon juice. Just going to squeeze a little bit of that. So you're gonna go ahead and just stir all your potatoes. Yeah, I'm just mixing this up. Go ahead and get that big pot so you can boil your potatoes. Okay. And then today I want to add some of this butter syrup. We're just gonna go ahead and just add a little bit. Alright. And that's it for the sweet potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and just cover these up with foil. So we're just gonna cover these up with some foil and then put it in the refrigerator until tomorrow when we're ready to cook them. All we gotta do is just throw them in the oven.